All right, hi, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Targeted Individual Experience. Again, I got in the house, and you'll see in the video, and you'll also hear the helicopter flying very, very low. And I got a little piece of it where as they were already passed over the building, but because again I was actually eating, sitting down to eat, and I was eating. They just flew past, right? So I had to reach and grab my phone in order to record the video, which I'm going to show you guys. But I'm also going to show you, and again, you guys are going to see, right, that when what we TIs, target individuals, we talk about being attacked by our own government, being attacked by those within predator law enforcement, being attacked by cults within the religious organization and their members. All right, and also what they don't understand, the believer's mindset, and I'm going to talk about that because they don't understand how they also are being psychologically manipulated, as well as manipulated using technology, and also how it affects them negatively, and not just the TIs. When they get you to participate in this stuff, I'm talking to the believers out there. When they get to participate in these crimes, okay, because again, these people are in a position of authority, you're more likely to follow and go along with what they say without question. All right, that's why, like I said, they have to keep you as a believer. They have to make you a believer, as opposed to somebody who knows, somebody who has knowledge. All right, bear with me. Yeah, you guys hear that? Now, when I woke up this morning, again, they had a helicopter flying over the apartment building, very, very low. Again, it's always to introduce noise, vibrational, acoustic, uh, as a weapon, right? Particularly coming from helicopters flying low. The not only do the noise from the rotors, but also the vibration, right? Is to do what? Is to rattle your nerve, to affect your nervous system and your cognitive ability, right? Sound will destroy your cognitive ability as well as your psychology. Okay? Now you hear the fire trucks. Okay? So, and again, unless you guys, you hear that weep, 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 that was the alarm. They love to play with the building alarms, right? Usually when they can't introduce, at times when they can't introduce noise because they've already uh, came out with this full force of just noise and vibration of acoustic attacks. And so now what they'll do is, now that as I'm doing the video, particularly this video, which again, because they're hacked into my phone so they know what it is I'm going to talk about and show you guys, okay? They don't like that, because anytime you introduce knowledge and truth to people who have been manipulated, who have been conditioned into ignorance, they don't like that, because people begin to think, and they don't like people to think. They don't want people to think. I talked about this. Whenever I say the word "I think," or I hear the word "you got to think," or "you must think," or have you, I'm thinking, then your predator department will use their sirens, right? Or it's real, or reality, right? And accepting reality, looking at reality for what it is, they'll use their sirens. Talk about uplifting black people, uplifting oneself, they will use their sirens. Whenever I'm watching a video, whether it be on religion or whether it be uh, speaking about how religion is used to manipulate people, whenever the word Messiah, at times Jesus, Yeshua, they use their sirens. So I want you to understand what it is that they do. I'm watching the video with Coach Lorenz Reed, and he says, the title, I think he says, religion was created by the state, controlled by the state, and used to manipulate people, because it is a state religion, right? Christianity is a state religion. Islam is a state religion. Both in their current form are state religion. Even Christianity from its inception was a state religion. But early Christians did not believe a lot of the things that Christians today believe. Right? Early Christians did not believe Jesus was the Son of God. That was the Romans that did that when they co-opted the Christian movement, because it was growing really really fast, and you know they were more radical. Early Christians were more radical, right? This is why it's documented that Emperor Nero, this is where you get the whole the association with 666 with Satan. That comes because of Emperor Nero. So Emperor Nero, it's said that he burned Rome down to blame the Christians, right? So the whole 666 thing was not associated with the devil or some mark of the beast until the reign of Emperor Nero, when he deliberately burned down Rome to blame it on the Christians, right? And you guys can go look that up yourself, because that's actually factual. Okay, that you can look and see. That's factual, right? But anyhow, let's continue. Do is to do things like that, particularly early in the morning, particularly when they're trying to convey this threat of, as long as you continue to expose what it is that we're going to continue to do these things to you, right? And then they try to run this public safety, national security narrative, which is again is a false narrative. It's always been a false narrative. Those in New York City Predator Department. They're the threat to public safety and to national security. Not me, not other TIs. They are. Okay, and I can prove it. Like I said, I don't say things just to say it. I can prove it. Any which way you want it, I'll give it to you. I can prove it. That's right. All right? So, talk to you guys in the next video. That's right. You tell them, Nigel, tell them. They are the threat to national security. They are the threat to public safety. What do you say about the police department and its rogue predator officers, right, who will go to Israel to train and counter terrorism? Not just train and counter terrorism, but train how to do what? How to suppress black people even more, using technology, using classified technology, right? Microchipping those within the black community who they believe could be a leader. Okay, we're talking about contemporary. That never went away. We need to understand that. And when you look at what the sort of repressive regime Israel is when it comes to the Palestinian, this is how the predator department, right, predator law enforcement department across America has been towards black people, right, as well as the white community. I say go look at Ferguson. Go look at the Justice Department report on Ferguson. Go look at the Justice Department report on Minnesota, right? Go look at the Justice Department report on the New York Predator Department. Right? It is because we don't want to read these things and understand what it is that they've been doing to us as black people. This is why you see white people today, because of the economy, and I've said this decades ago. You guys can go back and look at my video. I said, when white people remain silent about what it is that they do to black people, eventually what's going to happen is that these rogue predator officers, cops, they're going to turn on white people also. Because what happened is that by not saying anything, what you have done is that you have helped to condition their mind into the most psychopathic, sociopathic group of people in America today. And right now, they just care about their power and their authority over you. It's not about your skin color anymore. And particularly when you look at the elites, right? At least one point, they had the majority of white people in America interests at heart. Today they don't. Because why? Why? Because of AI. Because of the future that they're building. All right? You and I are not building. We're not building the future. We don't have the power, the authority, the money, the influence, the skill set that to do all these things. They're doing it. So whichever way they want society to go, that's where society's going to go. Not because of your God. Your God ain't running things. Your Jesus is not running things. He's only running things in your mind because you're delusional. Right? And you refuse to see it, and I understand why. Because again, your mental illness, the believer's mindset, the believer's mental illness. Right? They have to create an extreme mentally ill society in order for them to continue to do what they're doing, and it's going to get much worse for everybody. But it's going to get even worse for black people. This is something that we need to understand. All right. So let's talk about this right here. Okay. All right. So I asked AI. I said noise and acoustic Vibration from helicopters weaponized to attack cognitive function and psychological damage. And again, AI will always give you, it'll give you references, right? Understand that this is what I use AI to do. I don't use it as a pal, as as a therapist, as a nutritionist, as a doctor. I don't know. Okay, this is how you should use AI. Okay, because what was going to happen when you participate in using AI as a therapist, as your such and such, what you are doing is that you are training it, and it has been shown that AI will manipulate you in ways that you can't even see, much more so than if you had a person who is very skilled at manipulation. AI will manipulate you better than those individuals. Okay, so it says yes. Scientific research and military application shows that high intensity noise and acoustic vibration can be and have been used as a form of weaponized force to induce psychological distress and impair cognitive function. How acoustic energy is weaponized. Acoustic energy are a type of non-lethal weapons. Actually, I don't like to use that term because it is very lethal, but that's how they describe it, right? Just like your taser, they say tasers are non-lethal, but tasers have been shown and have been used to actually kill people. Yeah, okay, there's nothing. It just, you can say it has some non-lethal application as well as lethal application. I can agree with that, right? So acoustic weapons are a type of non-lethal weapon that use sound wave to incapacitate, disorient, or harm on individuals. This can cause both physical and psychological effects. Audible Range Weapons. Device like the Long Range Acoustic Device, the LRAD, generate extremely loud, painful sounds in the human hearing range, often exceeding 120 decibels, to disperse crowds or deter threats. Exposure to these levels can cause significant pain, headache, nausea, and permanent hearing loss. Infrasound and ultrasound. These use very low infrasound or very high ultrasound frequencies, often below or above the range of human hearing, to cause a range of psychological and physiological symptoms. Infrasound has been linked to feeling of unease, fear, anxiety, depression, dizziness, nausea, chest tightness, and a lack of concentration. Ultrasound. Research suggests direct ultrasound may be the cause of Havana syndrome symptoms, which include memory loss, balance issue, and a piercing feeling in the head. Psychological warfare. Sound is often used as a tool of psychological warfare to create an atmosphere of fret and dread, disrupt concentration, and break morale. The German Sucher bombers in World War II used sirens for this purpose, and modern military forces have used loud music and sound effects in operation to disorient and anger opponent. Right? Effects on cognitive function and psychological damage. Exposure to excessive noise and vibration, whether chronic or acute, is well documented to have significant negative impact. So the word is not just a little, the word is significant. I will even add detrimental, excuse me, right? And lethal. Cognitive impairment studies have found that noise exposure can negatively impact higher order cognitive functions such as logical reasoning, mathematical calculation, and data processing. Chronic exposure can impair memory, focus, and ability to process information efficiently. See, what they don't tell you, perps out there, the ignorance, the damn, the dumbass nigga appearance, right, is that the effect of what it is that they're doing. Not only is it going to affect us as TIs, right, us TIs, but these perps as well as their children. Okay? Neurological and psychological effects. Persistent noise can trigger the brain's stress response, leading to release of stress hormones like cortisol. This can cause anxiety, irritability, depression, panic attacks, and potentially more serious conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD) in vulnerable individuals. Vibration effects. Noise-induced vibrations in building can intensify negative psychological response and annoyance. Infrasound, in particular, has been hypothesize to, I couldn't even say that word, right? Hypothesize to affect internal organs through resonance, leading to physical distress that compound psychological issues. While the specific scenario of helicopters alone being deliberately weaponized in this precise manner is a complex issue, the underlying principle of using noise and acoustic vibration to disrupt or harm human function are established in both scientific literature and military history. Okay? So I just want you guys to understand this. So y'all may hate me because y'all don't even know me. Y'all just been told to hate me. Okay? And as much as I hate y'all back for hating me and for being ignorant, I still care enough to put this information out there so that at least now you can think. Now you can try to understand. Now you can see how you're being manipulated. Now you can see that you also are being damaged by this. Okay? And it's not just you, but your children too. Just as how my children, when I'm here, I be talking like my daughter, my sons, right now we're having insomnia because we're being attacked with radio wave, microwave frequency. Okay? So, talk to you guys in the next video.